62% of people are experiencing these scams on Facebook, and it's become rampant. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you these insane scams and tell you some personal stories because I've actually been affected by each and every one of these scams. Either someone tried breaking into our flat, ridiculous, or they sent some emails, whatever it may be. I'm going to share everything with you. But most importantly, I'm going to share with you what to look out for so that you don't fall into this category of the 62% of people that are being scammed on Facebook. Facebook Marketplace is an incredibly popular way of selling either new or used items, and I've personally made over £10,000 selling on Facebook Marketplace. I've actually been selling on Facebook Marketplace since it started in 2016, and I found it was a great alternative to eBay because there are no fees, it's cash, it's quick and easy, and you get paid and it's over and it's done. eBay, it can be a bit of a mess. However, Facebook Marketplace is absolutely ripe with scammers. And there are 4 scams in particular that I'm going to share with you today, 4 different scams, and I have been affected by each of them. And I want to make sure that you aren't affected by any of them. It's actually really crazy. The number of scams on Facebook have quadrupled in the last 4 years. That is a huge amount of people being scammed. So if you've never used Facebook Marketplace, it's really, really simple. You've got the app, you've got the button at the bottom, at the middle. You click the Facebook Marketplace button, you click sell an item, you take some photos. Once you've taken photos, you list your item and you wait for the messages to come in, and then you eventually sell your item. It's very, very quick and very straightforward. The first scam that I was exposed to was probably the scariest one. I'd bought a PlayStation 5 in 2020 when they first came out, and I decided I didn't actually want it. So I listed it on Facebook Marketplace to try and make some money. Very quickly, I got a bunch of messages from various people, and I responded, and obviously I went to the first person as they were the first ones, and I said, yep, this is still available. They said, brilliant, we can come and pick it up today. And I was like, fantastic. And we didn't actually discuss whether or not it was going to be cash or bank transfer. In hindsight, I probably should have. But anyways, they said, where do you live? We'll come and pick it up now. So I gave them my address. Again, red flag. Always meet in a different place, maybe outside some shops or a restaurant or somewhere where there's lots of people around. Anyway, I gave them my address. They came over. All the meanwhile, my wife's grandparents are actually sitting in one of the rooms watching TV. Now, this isn't important for the story, but it emphasizes the severity of the situation, I should say. They turn up, 2 guys come, not 1, 2. They are significantly bigger than me. I mean, I'm not very big. I'm only 5'6". But either way, they turn up. I immediately think, what have I just done? But you know what? I benefit of the doubt here. Basically, I don't live there anymore. I used to live in a flat. So I opened the main door to the flat hall, to the building hallway, and my flat was just there on the left. So I don't ever let anyone in the flat, but we were just conversing in the hallway. So they come into the hallway, the PlayStation's there on the floor, and I show them, I was like, yep, here's the PlayStation, put it back down by my feet. And they're like, brilliant, great, we'll send you the money. So I was like, what do you mean you'll send me the money? Do you have the cash? They're like, no, we're going to do a bank transfer. So I was like, right, okay, fine, it's not the end of the world. So he showed me this app. It was his banking app. And he showed me going through, sending the money to my bank details. Everything seemed legit. I was like, brilliant, thank you. And he showed me like a big green tick. I don't have a photo of it, but it looks something like this. And this is a photo I found online. But this is what it looked like, what I was looking at. And I was like, okay, fine, let me just check the money's arrived in my bank. So I opened my bank account, my bank app, and there was no money there. Now, online transfers are instant these days. So I said to them, the money hasn't arrived yet, so we have to just wait a few minutes. And he said, oh no, actually it takes 15 minutes for it to arrive. It's because it's coming internationally, blah, 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 making up a whole bunch of excuses. And I was like, okay, 15 minutes, that's quite a long time. Usually it's instant. He goes, no, it's not instant. And then he's like, you can call your bank, you can ask them, they'll tell you the money is coming. It was a Sunday. We all knew the bank was closed. So I was like, look, At this point, when he said it was 15 minutes, I started getting a bit nervous because in the back of my head, I knew my wife's grandparents were inside. I knew this was dangerous. There was two of them. They now knew where I lived. There was more expensive things in my flat. And my mind was just on overdrive on thinking, this isn't real. How do I get out of this now? So I said to them, well, look, we need to wait for this to come, for this money to come through. And one of the guys went forward to take the PlayStation and then start walking away. And I was like, hold the phone, wait there. No. I took the PlayStation back, I put it by my feet. I said, we're waiting this out 15 minutes. And they started getting very frustrated. They kind of said, we're really busy, we've got to run, we're in a rush, you're stealing our money, you can see I've sent you the money. And they actually had the audacity to start calling me a scammer, saying, you've seen we've sent you the money, you've clearly got the money, you just have to wait a few minutes, you have to be patient. And all the meanwhile, I was just like, yep, I was just letting them talk, I was letting them get angry. And we were getting closer and closer to that 15-minute mark. And as we were getting closer to it, they were getting more and more frustrated and more het up and anxious. And it was clear why. Because as soon as that 15-minute mark passed, I would know it was a scam. So they were getting really, really angry, loud, shouting, pushing, shoving, just kind of screaming at me, calling me a scammer, proving to me that they sent the money, telling me to give me the PlayStation, saying how I was stealing their money. It got ridiculous. Anyway, the 15 minutes passed, the money didn't come through. I logged back into my bank and I showed them, I was like, look, the money is still not there. So now what? They said, maybe it takes a bit longer, call your bank. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to call my bank. It was a Sunday. They weren't answering. So I phoned the bank. I obviously get the automated message. We're closed. I was like, they're closed. I'll try a different number, like an emergency number. So I'm calling the bank. All the meanwhile, I, with my foot, slide the PlayStation back into my flat. Because bear in mind, I'm standing on the threshold of my door and they're in the hallway. So I slide the PlayStation back into my flat and I kind of take a step back. So now I'm behind the door. And very simply, I can just close the door. Anyway, he saw me. One of the guys saw me do this. He saw me take a step back and he lunged. He just lunged forward to grab me. And I slammed the door in his face. And for 25 straight minutes, they were smashing the door, screaming at me, telling me how I've stolen their money, I've stolen the PlayStation, they're going to come get me, all these different things. They know where I live. So I was like, look, I'm calling the police. Feel free to wait it out. They'll be here very soon. We can have this out with them. They kept banging for about 25 minutes. I did genuinely call the police. The police were utterly useless. Maybe they were busy. I don't know. I tried to explain the severity. These people were trying to bash down my door. I had grandparents in the flats. I was in the flat. My wife was there. The police didn't ever show up. They were like, maybe we can come later this evening. I was like, well, that's irrelevant. Anyway, eventually they left, and it was scary that A, they had my address, B, they clearly were happy to steal, and we were not very comfortable in that flat from then on. We have since moved, but either way, that was scam one. And the scam here was showing that they have sent the money, saying it can take 10 to 15 minutes, meanwhile hoping that you give them the item, they go, and then you get them, and then 15 minutes later you get the money. But at that point, they've blocked your number, you don't know where they are, you've now lost your item, and you don't have any money. So that's the first scam to really be careful of. And the way around this scam is don't ever give away your address. That was stupid. So don't give away your address. Meet in a public place, outside a shop, a restaurant, shopping center. A great place to meet is outside a local Apple store, because Apple always have security by the front of their stores. So it's always a good place to meet for these kind of things. But yeah, be really vigilant when someone is saying they're going to come to your address and pick up the item. Now, this happened in 2020. The scams have become far more sophisticated now, far more scary, and the fact that people are falling for them 4 times the amount, because 2020 was when it all started kicking off with scams, and they've become 4 times worse now. These next three are all recent scams that happened in the last few weeks and what led me to actually want to create this video. Before going into scam 2, I just want to quickly tell you about a membership that I've made. It's completely free. If you know about print on demand, or you want to try print on demand, or you want to make a little bit of extra money every single month, then you should check out this free membership. It's really, really cool. The link will be down below. I'm sharing live calls. I'll be able to answer questions. I've got my entire print on demand course in that membership completely for free. So it's pretty cool to check out. There's also a bunch of other resources, graphics, downloads, t-shirt phrases, a whole bunch of goodies. So check that out down below. For now, back to the second scam. So a few weeks ago, I listed an old camera lens, again on Facebook Marketplace for, I think it was £600 or £700. Can't remember the exact number. And I got someone who messaged me. They wanted to buy it, but they couldn't pick it up, so they asked if I would deliver it. I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't see a problem with that. It's a bit like eBay. You know, someone buys something, you send it off to them. And they said, great, I'll pay for the shipping. So they said they'll send an extra £10 for the shipping. It all seemed really, really legit. They seemed genuine people. I looked on their profile. Everything looked genuine. So I packaged the item up. I videoed myself packaging the item up because they asked. I videoed putting their address on. I videoed going to the, well, not videoed going to the post office, but in the post office, I showed them, I'm in the post office. I'm ready to send the item now. Please send the money. So they said, okay, no problem. So they go to send me the money. And they said, we've sent the money. They asked for my details, my email address. They said, we've sent the money now. Please check your bank. I checked my bank. There was nothing in there. Now, it had been quite a few years since I'd previously almost been scammed. So it didn't click just yet. So I checked my email. They said, now check your email. Maybe, you'll see the confirmation. I checked my email, and this is what the email said. It showed Wise, which is like a famous money transferring platform, formerly TransferWise. It said, hello, S.A. Morris. Mary is sending you £720 with Wise. You should have the money in your account ending in by today, March the 1st, as soon as the postage receipt has been forwarded to our database. So a few alarm bells started going off. This meant I had to send the item to get the postage receipt to upload it in order to get the money, which means the item would be out of my hands before I received the money. Also, it says for you to be fully credited in your bank account, you have to reply to this email with the postage receipt so we can fully credit your bank account immediately. Now, I knew that Wise or TransferWise wasn't an escrow, which means they don't hold money, they just transfer money. So immediately I was like, what the hell is this? This is not legit. So then I go, and this is what you always have to do. You have to go and click TransferWise, the name, the from, and then you can see the email it came from. So I can see this came from online TransferWise confirmation at gmail.com. As soon as I saw at gmail.com, I knew this was a scam, because companies like TransferWise and other big corporations don't use gmail.com. It will be something at wise.com. So I messaged them and I said, this email isn't real. Are you going to send me the money? What's going on? And then they went off on one. This is real. You've got my money. If you're not going to give me the item, you've got to send the money back. You're now scamming me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, for goodness sake, this is such a waste of my time. But it made me realize that it's so easy to fall for this, because not everyone knows to look at the from email address. And this looks like a genuine email. So genuine that a week ago, the exact same scam happened to my brother. He listed his MacBook Pro on Facebook Marketplace. He got the same messages. He went to the post office. The problem is he listened. He sent the item. He uploaded the receipt. He called me and said, Shimmy, I think I've just made a mistake. I was like, what have you done? And he said, I've got this email about, and he basically explained the whole story. And I said, oh my gosh, check the from and who's it from. And he told me who it was from. I was like, Josh, it's a Gmail account. Why would a Gmail account be emailing you? This is not real. And the worst thing is, he went back into the post office, showed them the scam. They saw the scam. They realized it was a scam, but they didn't give him his parcel back. They said, we can't give your parcel back. We're not allowed to. It's illegal. I was like, well, this scam is illegal. So why can't you give my parcel back? He called the police. The police couldn't get involved. It's crazy. But basically, he watched his parcel get sent off to the scammer. And I was like, well, just go to the scammer's address. But obviously, it wasn't the scammer's address. The scammer was going to intercept the parcel at this address and then just go away with the parcel. So he lost his laptop. Thankfully, I didn't lose my lens. I caught the scam and I realized not to send the lens. But it goes to show that someone who is young, tech savvy, who understands scams can still fall for them because they look really, really genuine. So, scam 2, please always check the from email address. Don't let anyone send you money. And most importantly, when someone sends you money, they do not need your email address. You just need name, bank account number, and sort code number if you're in the UK. If you're in the US, it's probably slightly different. But don't ever fall for these scammy emails. They are never real. And to double check, just look at the from address to see if it ends in Gmail, Hotmail, any other kind of mail. Right. I wish it was over here, but it's not. Please welcome scam 3. This actually happened yesterday, which sparked me to finally create a YouTube video exposing all of these ridiculous Facebook scams because, like I said, 62% of people are falling for them, are being affected by them, I should say, and I don't want you to be affected by them. I would absolutely love for this video to go completely viral so that everyone is aware of these scams so that they don't take place anymore. And I wish there was more that was done about them, but the police don't care. It doesn't sound like anyone cares, really, and they are affecting a lot of people. What happened yesterday? Well, I actually listed my MacBook Pro. My brother sparked me to list my old computer, so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try not to get scammed. So I listed my MacBook Pro, and after an hour or so, I got a message. Someone wanted to buy it. Brilliant, great. They said this was a present for my son, and my sister lives in the area because I told them the area I was in, not my address, just the area. They said my sister lives in the area and she could come and pick it up that day. I was like, brilliant, this sounds very real. There was no reason to think it was a scam at this point. Anyway, we continue speaking, and he said, can I have your bank details so that I can send you the money? And I said, is it possible for your sister to actually just bring cash? And he said, I would prefer a bank transfer. So I was like, all right, fine. People, not everyone carries around cash. So I was like, okay, bank transfer it is. He asked me for my bank details. I gave him my bank details. He then said, what's your email? At this point, I was like, oh my gosh, stop wasting my time. I was like, why do you need my email? This is a bank transfer. You don't need someone's email. And he said, well, I'm sending it from a business bank account and they require an email for confirmation. I was like, you know what? I'm going to humor this person. So I sent him my email. I was like, great, there you go. There's my email. He said, right, thank you. I've now sent the money. Can you please check your bank account? I checked my bank account. Surprise, surprise. Nothing was there. So he said, oh, check your email. I was like, all right, I'll check my email. Maybe it will be there. And obviously, my email, I had an email and it said, I'll show you what it said. You've received a payment of £350. Michael sent £350. It's currently pending. We have noticed a payment of £350 was recently sent to your bank account from your buyer business account. Your account is not registered as a business account. You have to take this step to accept payment. To help you receive the payment, we kindly request your urgent attention. Has the funds have, it's not even good English, already been deducted? Anyway, so I sent him this email. I was like, this email isn't real. What is going on? He goes, oh no. He sends an emoji of a hand slapping the face, being like, you haven't set up an account. Silly you. And I'm like, oh no, I haven't set up an account. Silly me. He's like, well, if you read the email, it says in order to set up an account, I, the buyer, he had to send a further £300, and that would activate my account because you needed £650 in this imaginary account to activate it. So he's like, what we're going to do is this. I will send a further £300 to your account. But I'm just thinking about it. He's such an idiot. He says, but will you send the £300 back to me? Can I trust you to send the £300? You can keep the $350. I'll pick up the laptop, but can you refund me the $300 that I'm sending as extra money to activate your account? And it made me realize this is the next scam. They don't care about the item. He never intended to get the item or sell the item because he knows what's he going to do with an Apple laptop. All he wanted to do was get me to refund him £300 to his bank account. At which point I said to him, mate, I've been around the block. I know this is a scam. Do you want the laptop or not? And then he just left the chat. I probably could have kept him going, and I wish I did. But that is the third scam, where they don't even care about the item. They send you money. It says they need to send you extra. They ask for a refund, and he could have walked away with £300 in his bank account that day, and happy days. He doesn't even have to worry about picking up the item, selling the item, doing anything with the MacBook. He could just walk away with £300. Again, always check the sender's email. I checked the sender's email for that. It was another random Gmail account, hsbcalert@gmail.com. That was the email address, something like that. So beware of the sender's email address, but also beware of these kind of things. Is it over? Please tell me it's over. Nope. There is one more scam that I was subject to also yesterday that I'm going to share with you. And this one's actually hilarious because I decided to have some fun with the scammer. It was the end of the day. I was done. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun here. So, as well as my laptop, we also listed an old filing cabinet. Yes, it was a Sunday. We were having a clear out. We were listing a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So my wife actually listed this filing cabinet for £35. Just let that sink in. This was £35. We're not talking about an expensive laptop that they could sell. It was £35. Anyway, this scam happened twice. The first one, she just said, "Bye, scammer." This is like, I ignored them. The second one, she said, "Oh, Shimmy, I've got another message. They're saying the same thing." And I was like, "Give me your phone. Give me your phone." I want to reply to them. I want to kind of play their game. And this was their message. They said, "Is this item available? What is the price?" And then Lauren says, "This item is still available. It's £30. And they said, "Okay, the price suits me okay. I'll take it, but I would like to come tomorrow. But I'm busy at the moment. I will send a DSV postman to your home to give you your money in cash and collect the item." A DSV postman will come and give us the money. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a postman coming to your address being like, "I'm here to pick up a parcel for," what was this person's name? For Maurice. Here's some money for it. What? I mean, do people think this one works? It must work. Anyways, so I responded saying, "That's perfect." He goes, "Okay, let me explain. A DSV agent will come to your house to give you an envelope containing your money. And once you have verified your money, you will give him the item to send to me. Okay, what time are you available tomorrow?" I said, "That sounds simple enough. I'm available tomorrow morning." He goes, "Okay, so to send, I need your last name, first name, address, city, postcode, total amount, email address, and visiting time for tomorrow." I was like, right, at this point, I didn't want to give them all my details to continue the scam. So I just said, "My boyfriend will be in, so I'll give you his details. Okay? Remember, this is my wife's account. So not my boyfriend, her boyfriend." He goes, "Thumbs up." So I said, honestly, I laugh because it's so funny. So I said, "Here's a picture so you know who to look out for. Is that okay?" He loves the gym. And I sent this message with this picture. Anyway, within 3 seconds, Maurice Pierre left the group. And I was like, it's over, right? Surely. And that, my friends, is the fourth scam. This scam is probably actually the scariest one because this is where you give them all your details. They will send someone to your house to pick up the item. They have absolutely no reason to pick up this £35 filing cabinet. They are there to break into your house, be in your house, steal, or not even break in because you will let them in, steal much more valuable items. Maybe it's jewelry, maybe computers, money if you have money, whatever it may be. And it's very hard to do anything with this scam because you would have let them into your property willingly. So this is actually quite a scary one. Don't ever fall for this one where they said a postman or an agent is going to come with the money and pick up the item. It's complete crap. Those were the 4 scams, and these are just 4 scams that I have been witness to or involved in some way or another. There are probably tons more scams out there, so just be really, really vigilant, be really careful, know what to look out for, don't give your address, always look at the sender's email if they're going to go down the email route, meet in a public space, and just be careful. Always go with someone. Try not to go on your own ever. I personally don't think I'm going to continue to use Facebook Marketplace. It's just ripe with scammers. I mean, you can't even list a £35 filing cabinet without someone trying to scam you. That's ridiculous. £35. It's madness. So, do you have any stories, whether you're in America, you're in the UK, anywhere in the world, do you have any stories from Facebook Marketplace specifically where someone has tried to scam you? If you do, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear everyone's stories. A, because it's really important everyone knows all the scams out there, but B, also, maybe someone can resonate with your story. Maybe someone can share some sympathy. But I think it's really important that we talk about these scams. We try and share this video if you can. Show it to as many people as possible so that everyone knows about these scams and no one falls for them. And going back to what I said originally, if you are interested in the free membership, the link will be down below. If you want to learn about print on demand, my entire course, downloads, everything is in this membership. You can check it out by hitting the link down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And if you've been scammed, I'm really, really, really sorry. Genuinely, I'm really sorry. There are some horrible people out there, and you know what? They deserve the worst. Karma is real. It will happen at some point in their lives. But yeah, I'm sorry if you've ever been scammed.